All right, beautiful people. I am going to jump right into our next intro. Let me make sure. Yeah, there she is. I see Jess.
I'm
So I'm going to do a
here.
quick intro and read your bio, Jess, so that they know who's coming on to chat with them. So you all need to know that Jessica H. Maurer is a recognized fitness business consultant and strategist dedicated to transforming businesses from overwhelmed to organized. Through international presentations, workshops, certifications, and consultations, she empowers fitness professionals and businesses to reach their full potential. Jessica's dynamic stage presence delivers fresh ideas and inspiration, driving positive change and fostering growth, career transformation, and overall wellness. Her expertise in education, program and instructor development, and brand evolution positions her as a key leader in elevating our industry, the health and fitness industry. So, Jessica, I am going to spotlight you, fabulous one. And Jessica and I
Thank you.
actually did a project together a few years back on how to spotlight you there. How
Awesome.
to successfully promote your brand online is one of the most fun collaborations I think I've ever done. And I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for
I'm so
being here.
happy to see you too, and everybody else on the call. Hi, everyone.
So I'm going to mute the heck out of myself and turn it over to you, Miss Jessica.
You got it. Well, then I'm going to keep myself on track because if I don't present without slides, I will end up talking about K-pop demon hunters or hurricanes. Who knows what will come out of my mouth? So, guys, I'm here today to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart because I have gone through burnout and boredom in my career. I've been in the fitness industry for over 20 years, even though I'm only 25. It's crazy, I know. But I've worn a lot of hats in the industry, which has allowed for me to really kind of study a lot of different fitness professionals. And so I've got a few questions for you now that I can see some lovely faces on the screen. My question number one is, have you felt like this at all in your career? Maybe more so in the last 5 years than you ever have before? Or do you feel more like this? Or just nothing's lighting you up. And maybe it's not how you feel right now, but maybe you resonate with how you felt years ago, weeks ago, days ago. Well, I know right now that there is a huge trend around the buzzword of burnout. And sometimes we as fitness professionals, we use the term burnout, but we're actually experiencing boredom. And so today, for this next little bit that I've got you here, I want to kind of talk about the differences between burnout and boredom, how you can tell the difference from a psychological perspective, but more importantly, how do you get past them both? Kind of ignoring the craze that's around the term burnout and instead really focusing on how do we determine our solution instead of trying to just come up with the term that we fall into or prescribing ourselves to being a certain way. How do we move past it? And as I mentioned to you before, I've worked in the fitness industry now for a long time, and I've gotten to see what true burnout is from myself as well as my coworkers. So burnout is chronic stress, overwork, and emotional exhaustion. It's again, chronic being the key term here. Chronic doesn't just mean a 24-hour period where you had a lot of stress all at once. Chronic means for an extended period of time. And for the most part, we're looking at it being over 2 months. So over 8 weeks moves you closer to that burnout realm. And burnout essentially is having too much of everything, too much of it everywhere all at once, happening all at you. We in the fitness industry, we tend to be pretty creative people. Wouldn't you agree? Like we like to come up with new exercises. As Anne was mentioning to you before, it's usually not that the participants are bored. We are usually bored as the fitness professionals. So we've got to come up with the 700th way to do a squat, or we've got to come up with the 22nd way to do a push up. We've got to make sure that we're always creating something new and different. And we got to have a new playlist. And every time we teach a class, it's got to be new choreography. Well, actually, that's not helping anyone in our classes become better movers. That's just helping us scratch that itch of being creative. And so sometimes when we're feeling lackluster, we're feeling a little, we're not enjoying our jobs as much. Maybe we're not enjoying our clients as much. it tends to not be because we're burnt out. Instead, what we are is bored. So what is bored? Bored is when you don't have enough. It's a lack of challenge, a lack of variety, a lack of engagement. Can I see just a show of hands if you'll take your little emojis or head over to the chat? Let me know if you really resonate with this definition of boredom in the last 30 years of your career. At any point, there we go, we got some hands raised. Have you been like, if I have to teach someone how to bend their knees in a squat one more time, I'm going to pull my eyelashes out, right? Or you're like, I have to teach another class on a bike where I go nowhere, right? We all have felt this way. Or we keep wondering why our clients aren't getting better at movement. They've been with us for years. We keep giving them new exercises every week. Why aren't they getting better? Well, again, we're giving them new exercises every week. They can't practice in order to get better. So there's a big difference between burnout and boredom, with burnout really being focused on too much, and then burnout being too much and boredom being not enough. And how do we kind of find this balance between the two of them? Now, when I worked as a group fitness manager, I had a lot of my group fitness instructors and personal trainers complain that they were burnt out. However, they weren't burnt out because the solutions to burnout didn't solve their problems. So let's look at what some of those solutions are now. The solutions to burnout are pretty much 5 things. Rest. Don't we sometimes think of that as like a really dirty word? Sometimes, yes, look at the head nods. Did you grow up in a household where you were told resting was lazy? I did. I think you'll find the majority of us kind of did. We have this mentality around the fact that we think rest is something that is wrong or we're sick. That's actually not true. We also, on the other hand, when we think about rest, when there's an amazing poll done by Harvard University where they asked 500 people, which I know is a low amount of people for the study purpose, but when you hear the term rest, what do you think? And the number one was sleep. Sleep was the number one, but that's not actually rest. Yes, in everyday life, you have to sleep. Therefore, that is resting. However, when we're talking about burnout recovery, we're talking about emotional and mental rest, not necessarily just physical rest. This isn't about sitting still. This is about letting your mind sit still. So this can be mindful moments like mindful walking. This can be mindful eating. This can be journaling. This can be working on your mental health, not just your physical health. So turning inward and letting yourself focus on your mind, on your emotional health, on your mental wellness is another way that we can prevent or come back from burnout. So instead of just thinking about, oh, I need to sit on the couch and watch Hunting Wives, it's instead thinking about, well, what kind of practice can I put into place that's going to care for my brain and my heart, my spirit, not just my biceps and glutes? How can I give my brain a rest? Maybe that's through meditation. Maybe that's breathing exercises. Maybe that's prayer. But you got to find your thing and then integrate it into your life. So that rest isn't something that is a vacation on a beach somewhere far away, but you're taking little moments every day to rest your brain and your heart. And then it comes down to, you got to learn how to say no. Anybody else a recovering yes person? Where you amen, where you just said yes to everything? If somebody came to you and they would be like, hey, can you teach this brand new format that you've never seen before? You'd be like, absolutely, tomorrow, no problem, right? We as fitness industry people, we're service providers, and service providers mean that we serve from the heart. And we want to make sure that we're serving the most amount of people. And so we say yes to everything, even when it's not our jam. Even when we know it's not appropriate for our certain age and stage of life that we may find ourselves in now. We say yes because we're not sure how to say no. We're scared of saying no. We're scared of the scarcity factor. For the last 10 years, I had a job as the director of education and fitness at Fit for Mom. And it was amazing. I worked with franchisees and instructors from all over the country. I've got to present on large stages and talk about things that matter to me the most. Mental health, specifically for women of all ages and stages. And then I left. I left because I felt a calling to do more, to talk to more people, to be able to expand my reach beyond just Fit for Mom. But the day I left Fit for Mom, I started saying yes to everything. I worked from a place of scarcity and fear that if I don't say yes to everything right now, nothing's ever going to come across my desk again. I'm going to be without a job. I'm not going to be able to have a place where I can speak. And I started saying yes to things that weren't my jam. You know, the things that you drag yourself out of bed for and you're really not excited to be there for, versus things like this, where I get to do what I love the most. I get to say yes to the people that I love the most. I get to come hang out with you guys and be excited about it. So coming up with ways that you can really make sure that you say yes to the right things and learn how to say no to the things that don't light you up. Another way that you can overcome burnout is you got to focus on your destination. What do you want to be when you grow up? So take it into chat. Tell me, what do you want to be when you grow up? What's your end goal? Is it to still teach 30 classes when you're 86? Awesome. I love that for you. Is it to own your own gym facility? Is it to be Ann Gilbert and own your own facility? What do you want to be when you grow up? Because if you can't figure out what your destination is, you're just going to keep accumulating all of these random side hustles and not really know where you're going to end up, right? Would you imagine getting on a plane and not knowing where you were going? And you ask the pilot, hey, what's our end destination? And he's like, I don't know. We're just going to cruise. Sometimes that's what we're doing. We're just cruising instead of being a little bit more focused. So I'm going to give everybody just a couple of more seconds. Take it into chat. Tell me, what is it? Where's your destination? Where are you going to end up? What's the goal? Maybe it's just to retire in the mountains. I'll take that as an answer too. Maybe it's to write your first book, second book, third book, 10th book. Maybe you want to leave the fitness industry altogether and create a TV show about vampires and werewolves. Whatever it is, take it into chat. Let's know what it is. What's your destination? Awesome. There you go. I like it. That's part of the problem. You don't know what your end destination is. It's amazing. Sometimes it's a way to know where you want to end up. Here we go. We got a doctorate, write a book. I love it. When you put it out in the universe, it's amazing what comes back. So sometimes we just have to take the time to say it. Put it out there. Serve a leadership community of at least 100 heart-centered fitness and wellness professionals every month. I love that, Kimberly. That's amazing. Retire in the mountains with a coaching business that helps older adults add life to their years. Man, that is beautiful. I love it. Keep it coming. More than welcome to keep it coming in as we keep going. The next one that we're going to talk about, though, is assessing your daily habits. What are habits? Habits are if this, then that. If I come downstairs in the morning, I make coffee. That is a habit. If this, then that. And sometimes you've got to look at your habits and decide, oh, you actually don't have any professional habits and you are flying by the seat of your pants. When do you check email? All the time? That's not a habit. That's a reaction. And your reaction involves chaos. We don't want to invite any more chaos into our lives, right? So we need a process that we know, if this, then that. If it is Monday at 10 a.m., I teach yoga. If I finish teaching that yoga class, I answer my emails. If this, then that. How many of those systems do you have set up in your life? If it's Monday at 3 o'clock, I know that I go on to Instagram. Otherwise, I'm on Instagram all day, which just means you fall deeper and deeper into the doom scroll life, right? So assess your habits. Do you have habits in place? Are your habits healthy? Or are your habits inviting a little bit more chaos into your world than you want to? And the next one is you got to find support. We can't do this alone. The fitness industry is a lonely place to be sometimes. You talk at people as a group fitness instructor. You don't have conversations, right? You spend an hour talking at someone and you get very little feedback, maybe a woohoo every once in a while. As a personal trainer, it's just you and your clients, but they don't like fitness as much as you do, or they don't like habit change as much as you do, or you don't really feel like you're connecting with them. It can be isolating. So find your support system. Look around at all the little Brady boxes right now, the Brady Bunch boxes right now. These are your support systems, right? This is your community. And these are the people that you can rely on when you start to feel like, oh my God, my coffee cup is overflowing. Then you need to lean on your support system. Now let's flip it. We've talked about having too much. Now we got to talk about what happens when you don't have enough. When you don't have enough sunlight, when you don't have enough water, when you don't have enough soil, what happens to a houseplant? It looks like this. Either way, whether you've had too much of something or not enough, it doesn't leave you in a healthy place. So what happens when you don't have enough coming into your life? Well, some ways that you can bust boredom is to try new pieces of equipment. Maybe you want to work with gliding discs or bender balls, BOSU balance trainers. Try a new booty band, try a new resistance tube, try some new piece of equipment. And then start to play around with fusions or theme classes. Especially right now, this is a great time to start incorporating those into your life and into your schedule because one, we have a huge holiday, like 90-day run ahead of us. Literally a sprint from October 1st until January 15th, pretty much. So you have a lot of opportunities to tie in themed classes. Also, as we know, what happens to all of our classes and our clients over the next 90 days? They all start disappearing, right? They're like Halloween ghosts. The minute Halloween happens, they just disappear. And so how can we start to create more fun, atmospheric classes, less focused on sets and reps, less focused on what happens to your Apple Watch, more about community, more about having fun? Where's the puppies and Pilates classes? Go take some goat yoga, go try new and different things that you can bring back into your facility. And then maybe it's create a personal goal. Maybe it's something like, okay, I know I'm teaching a cycle class, but I want to find 10 different ways to offer a motivational cue. And then write those 10 different ways down. And then over the next 10 classes, use one each so that you're trying a different cue. And who knows, you might fall in love with it. Or maybe it's more of a personal goal of, I don't want to include reverse lunges for 6 weeks. So what other way can I get something very similar that's not a reverse lunge or a bicep curl? Take what's boring you, create a personal goal around it for yourself. Then go take other sessions. Like being here right now, you're gonna walk out of here feeling so inspired. You're not gonna feel a bit of boredom for like 6 more weeks because you're gonna be so jazzed up with this amazing lineup that Kimberly's put together for you guys. You're gonna be so ready. But when the boredom hits again in 6 weeks or 8 weeks, go take other sessions. Go try the boutique studio that just opened up down the street. Go take a different personal training session with a different client, or excuse me, with a different trainer so that you can beg, borrow, and steal all of the stuff that you loved and then just forget about the things you didn't. Last but not least, seek education. We should always be trying to learn new and different ways to help support this wellness industry. So seek it out. Go take education within the industry and then go take education outside of the industry. Go see what's on Masterclass. Go see what community events are coming up. Go see if there's a Toastmasters in your area. Take an education at, in the industry, but more importantly, what's just gonna light you up and make you feel better as a human? And if you take all of these 10 things and kind of put them together, ultimately what they will do is help you increase your confidence levels. That's what it comes down to. Oftentimes we get a little imposter syndrome, right? We get a little bit worried that I'm not good enough. My class is boring. I'm not a great personal trainer. But if we rely on those 10 things to help us become better professionals, we move further away from lacking confidence and closer to really figuring out what our jam is. What are we good at? What lights our fire? And then hone in on that. And if you can't decide what lights you up, I bet you can decide what doesn't light you up. And you can make a list instead of the things that you want to stop doing so that you can eventually figure out what do you want to do to get you closer to your jam. I hope if you don't walk away with anything else from this presentation, you walk away knowing one thing. It is okay to say no. It is more than okay for you to say, not right now, not for me, and pass on opportunities that don't make you happy. If it doesn't bring you joy, if it's not a hell yes, It's good for you to say no. I want to thank you guys though, because you are on the front lines of making this world a better place. Not only are you working to make everyone healthier, but also happier, because we know there's a direct connection between taking care of your physical body and taking care of your mental self. So thank you guys for being here with me today. Thanks, Kimberly, for giving me this opportunity to come speak to everybody. As Anne was mentioning before, please reach out to me. I love having conversations about how we can lead the fitness industry revolution and how we can start to really embrace the mental wellness renaissance that we're seeing. You can reach me at jessicahmaurer@gmail.com or follow me on Instagram at JHM Fitness. And you can go check out my brand new website. It's a work of lots of not jam all over that site, but you can find it at jhmfitness.com.